going on YouTube? It's Trucker D here, back again with another video. So in this video, I'll be talking about Stevens Transport's training process. So I'm already solo, so I've did my hours. So I'm just gonna be basically telling you my perspective on it, my experience, and what you guys need to know about it. So first off, congrats, you finished the 4 days of orientation. So now you're on your trainer's truck. So when you first get on your trainer's truck, he or she will give you, they'll introduce themselves, give you the rules. Like my first trainer sucked. His name was Kiki. No, I'm just playing. He was a great trainer. Shout out to you, Kiki, if you're watching this video. All right, so let's get into the video. So when you get on the truck, they're gonna have you log into the Qualcomm, which you should already know how to do. You'll log in. Now, one tip I'm gonna give you guys is when you're on that truck, ask as many questions as you can. No question is a dumb question, because if you don't ask, your trainer's gonna assume that you know what's going on. So if you don't know, ask questions. You wanna get as much time behind that wheel as you can. Again, get as much time behind that wheel as you can. You wanna back as much as you can. Use that Qualcomm as much as you can. Ask questions about the Qualcomm, because yes, I know you guys are gonna have questions, because there's a lot of stuff on that Qualcomm that's gonna be new to you, that you're not gonna understand, but at the end of the day, you need to know it. So ask questions. Ask questions about the paperwork. Ask questions about trip planning. Now, personally, neither one of my trainers did trip planning. They didn't show me, which is fine, because I kind of already understood how to do it, so I really wasn't worried about it. Okay, so when you're on the truck, you have an orange folder, which you guys were issued. Make sure you keep up with that folder. Stay on top of your hours, because at the end of the day, it's not your trainer's responsibility to track your hours. It's your responsibility. So keep track of your hours. Make sure that you fill that orange folder out every single day that you're behind that wheel. Make sure you're putting the states that you drove through. Make sure you're putting the times that you started, your end time, because you don't want to get your hours and then find out that you're short. And by the way, you have to do with Stevens Transport, they require 240 hours behind the wheel. Another requirement is you have to do a mountain on the East Coast, and you have to do a West Coast mountain. Mine was Sandstone Mountain. It's in Virginia. I think it was like a 7% grade for like 2 miles, something like that. And then I did my West Coast mountain with my second trainer. Shout out to you as well if you're watching, which was in California. I think it was like an 8% grade, something like that. Okay, so when you're training, anything that your trainer is doing, you need to be watching, okay? If he's out there fueling, your ass needs to be out there watching. And yes, I know you're gonna say, oh, it's just fueling, but when you fuel, like any truck stop, you'll notice there'll be a bunch of prompts that you know. It's gonna ask you for your tractor number, it's gonna ask you for your trailer number, it's gonna ask you your hub miles, it's gonna ask you just a whole bunch of prompts. It's annoying, it is what it is, but you gotta know it, and you gotta do it. Another thing, when you're scaling, you need to know the correct weights, so ask questions about that. Tandems, a lot of these shippers and receivers are gonna require you to slide your tandems, so make sure you get enough tandem practice. Me personally, I didn't get a lot of that, but I'm still learning that as I go. I'm kind of getting the hang of it. But basically what tandems is, as y'all know, you're basically just adjusting and shifting the weight on your trailer so that you're legal. Okay. Going back to the driving, your trainer, and 9 times out of 10, if you're at Stevens, your trainer is gonna be a contractor, which they call Alliance. They're gonna be little sticklers about, how you're consuming their fuel, their brakes and everything, because at the end of the day, all that falls on them. They're paying for the fuel. So if your trainer is telling you he wants you to go 60 miles an hour, your ass needs to be going 60 miles an hour. If he's telling you to go 62, go 62. It's his truck, respect his truck, follow his rules. When you're going down a mountain, You know, you want to make sure that you're listening to your trainer, because 9 times out of 10, well, your trainer will be in that passenger seat. So just make sure you're taking your time, you're listening. You know, if he's telling you to hit the Jake brake, hit the Jake brake. Don't argue with your trainer. Just listen to the trainer, okay? Another thing, when you're training, don't argue. Don't ask, you know, well, why you ain't driving, or why am I doing all the driving? Because like I said earlier, it benefits you to drive. I mean, granted, that trainer is making hella money off you, because even if he's not driving, he's still making money off your ass. But at the end of the day, it benefits you. You're not benefiting if he's in that driver's seat and you're in the passenger seat. So like I said, get as much drive time as you can. Like my second trainer, hell, that's all I did was drive. My first trainer, you know, he let me drive too, but he was fair about it. Again, shout out to you, Kiki. While you're in the training process, you have modules. Yes, modules. They're a pain in the ass. It's something that has to be done. It's basically 6 levels, levels 1 through 6. And basically how you progress is you have to do a certain number of hours each week to progress. Now the videos, especially level 1, it's long as shit. You have to do it. You cannot fast forward the videos. I repeat, you cannot fast forward, because you will have to watch it all over again. At the end of each video, you'll have to take a test, and you must get every question right to go on, or you'll have to retake it over and over again until you pass it. Level 2, same thing. Now, I think once you get to like level 3, it gets shorter, so it'll take you about maybe an hour or so to do. Okay, so once you get off your trainer's truck, you know, you go to grad phase, but that's for another video. But my experience overall when I was training, it was pretty good. You know, my first training, he was amazing, great. You know, he taught me a lot of things. He got on my ass a lot, you know, he chewed me out a few times, but I mean, I know he meant well. My second trainer, he was decent, but he was like one of those trainers, he was just in it, I felt, for the money. He didn't really show me anything. All I did was drive, which, you know, benefited me, but you know, he didn't really teach me nothing. So basically all the knowledge that I learned was from my first trainer. Then the rest, you know, I'm just learning that as I go. To the guys that are training, you know, don't let your trainers disrespect you. Now, I will tell you, you guys may get into it once or twice. I mean, it's bound to happen, because just think about it. You're in a truck with a complete stranger who you don't know from Adam. You know, y'all are crammed up in this little space, you know, for weeks at a time. Like my first trainer, I was on his truck for exactly 22 days, and they shipped me off to Columbus, Ohio, where I met my second trainer. The only reason why I didn't stay on the first truck is because he did, he was on a dedicated route, a dedicated account, so he only did the East Coast. So, and as I said earlier, you have to do an East and a West Coast. So second trainer, he was, you know, OTR, so he did all 48. So I got my West Coast mountain on his truck. Now, if you guys aren't getting along with your trainers, that's when your check-ins come in, because each week, mine was Tuesday, so every Tuesday I had to call my counselor. And, you know, basically when you call your counselor, by the way, you have to call every week. Basically, when you call your counselor, he or she is just gonna basically go over your progression. You know, he's gonna let you know how many hours you have, or basically how you're doing. He's gonna ask you how things are going with your trainer. If things aren't going right, I would highly recommend that, you know, you guys just stick it out. Just stick it out, because it's only the training process to do 240 hours. It could take anywhere to 4 to 6 weeks. It took me 39 days to be exact to complete my training. So if you guys aren't getting along, because my second trainer, I didn't really care for him. But like I said, just stick through it, because you don't want to keep hopping trains. Like, I know friends of mine that keep hopping from trainer to trainer. Like, I have a friend right now, he's still in training, and he left way before I did. He's still on his trainer's truck, because every time you get off the truck, they're gonna fly you back to Dallas, and then you're gonna have to stay at the shithole Luna, And you don't want that because you could be waiting days and days for a trainer. And let's be honest, y'all, the training pay is not that great. It sucks. Training pay sucks. So just, stick through it, because just remember, you're here for a reason. To learn and to, become solo. So just stick it out. More videos will be coming soon. If you have any questions about the training process, just comment below. I'll answer as soon as I can. Y'all stay safe. Take it easy. Out.